time for Bring Your Own Lunch. Personal stories about the business with my daddy, Dave T. Kenning.
All right, come on in. Have a seat. Welcome. This is the Bring Your Own Lunch podcast at BringYourOwnLunch.com, the magic of iTunes, the majesty of Stitcher, and however you found your way to download this podcast, I thank you. As you heard at the top, my name is Dave T. Koenig. I'm an actor, writer, director, producer, comedian, all-around swell dude. I'm the hooper, the hyper, protected by Viper, and of course, I'm the host of the podcast you're listening to right now. BYOL is the hashtag you can use if you want to hop on board, get involved social media-wise, play the game that way. It works. You can like us on Facebook.com/BringYourOwnLunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at BringYourOwnLunch. And if that's not good enough for you, if you want a little more traditional outlet, as traditional as websites can be, you can go to our website, the mothership, if you will, Bring Your Own Lunch. You can find out all the information about the guests on this program, past, present, and presumably future. You can find all kinds of links and some pictures and some video. It's a good place to visit, and we will welcome you with open arms. Now, my guest this week, another first. I've been trying to do a lot of firsts lately, and this time it's my first casting director on this podcast. Casting directors are kind of the engine that runs this whole machine, and I get a great one. I've always been very fortunate to have some really good relationships with some of the great casting directors in the business, and I think they're great, and I think casting directors are such an important part of the process, and my guest this week is one of the exceptional ones, one of the ones who I've had one of the best relationships with, Rebecca Yarsin of House Productions. She's a casting director there and has been for quite some time, and House Productions, it's a place that's near and dear to my heart. They were there when I first started my career, and unlike many, many other casting offices, they haven't closed, they haven't moved, they have stayed right where they are in the legendary Milk Building in New York City, and they have cast some of the biggest commercials directed by some of the best directors, and they were the ones who cast some of the biggest jobs of my career, some of the longest running, some of the most profitable, some of the most big-name commercials I've done were cast by House Productions, so I'm always thinking kindly of them whenever I do think of them, and Rebecca is somebody who has just been a very positive, kind, genuine person to know in the business, and I think that's what makes her one of the most popular casting directors in the business. She's a real actor's casting director. And if you're not 100% sure what I'm talking about when I say casting director, my goal with this podcast, as I mentioned before, is to help educate, pass along the information I've gained over the last however many years of doing this, and maybe if you're just on the outside of the business or you're just getting started, well, this is a great podcast for you because we will go into what exactly a casting director does, and Rebecca and I go through the entire process of how a commercial is made and how things happen on the casting side to maybe demystify some of the stuff that might be confusing to you. Even if you have been in the job for many, many years, there are things I learned about the process through this conversation that I didn't know before, and it's all delivered by somebody who is really, really cool. Rebecca is somebody who has been studying theater since she was a teen, and it's her love of theater that has really propelled her career. And what I think is awesome is that she is just there to help actors work and help directors do their job. She's not somebody who seeks the spotlight. In fact, we talk a little bit about how she doesn't seek it out at all, but she is very interested in just being there and helping other people get what they need to get done. And that makes her super cool in my book. So I hope you will enjoy this conversation, and heck, why wouldn't you? She's a really great guest, and she's going to be giving you plenty of information. So a pen and paper may not be the worst thing in the world for you to have on hand, just in case you want to jot down a note and remember, hey, this is what happens in the business, and this is a good thing. So that's coming up in just a little bit. I want to say thank you to my managers, Sid Levin and Associates, aka Sid Levin and her partner Harold Luter. They work behind the scenes to make things happen, and they don't always get all the credit they deserve, but not only do they work hard, they are very kind, and it's not every management company that might open up one of their homes to all the clients and their families and friends and throw a barbecue during the summer, but that's what Sid did at her house, and Harold was running the show with her, and it was a great time, and I was able to bring my wife and my kids, and we just had a great time, and I just want to say thank you to them in as much a public way as this actually is. So that was very cool. That was one of the things I enjoyed over this past weekend. I also thought this was a pretty good time of year to check in on some of the people who have been on this program before and give you a bit of an update on what they've been up to, because the guests on this show have been amazing, and they do great stuff. And if you haven't listened to these episodes, well, maybe you understand why. It might be a good idea to go and check them out. Let's start with Geneva Carr, who was my guest in BYOL 21. She has been killing it all summer long, and a bit before that on Broadway in Hand to God, and now she's got a new gig that will run concurrently. She was been cast in the new TV Land pilot called I Shudder, along with a bunch of other Broadway names. Congratulations to Geneva. Gamila Wright, who joined us in BYOL 47, she was added to the 2015 ABC Discovers New York Talent Showcase. That is a huge deal, and it could be a giant launching pad for her. So congratulations, and break a leg on that one, Gamila. That is awesome. Joel Marsh Garland, who was with us in BYOL 53 a couple weeks ago. He was recently featured in an article in Men's Health. Really interesting. The link to that will be in the show notes for this episode. Atoa Sando, who had joined us way back in episode 3. He is going to be in the new HBO series Vinyl that has gotten a lot of buzz about it. The trailer for that series is finally out, and now people are talking about it, and Ato's got a big role in that, so check that out. That'll be in the show notes for this episode as well. A couple past BYOL guests, Miranda Jante, who joined us in BYOL 37, and Rory Scholl, who was there in BYOL 38 back-to-back. Well, they're both appearing in shows they've written at the New York International Fringe Festival this month. Miranda's play is called St. Francis, and Rory wrote a musical called Single Room Occupancy. They'll be playing throughout this month. Go to fringenyc.org for more details about how to go see those. And speaking of fringe festivals, two of our former guests are currently performing and getting great reviews at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland. Abigail Shaman, our very first guest on the podcast, is doing her show Postcoital Confessions, and David Carl, who joined us in BYOL 23, has his show Gary Busey's One Man Hamlet. They'll be performing throughout August in the UK. Go to edfringe.com for details on their shows. All right, before we get into the interview, got to thank Banuba, banuba.net, BANOOBA.net. That's the website of the band that provides the music that you hear at the beginning, middle, and end of this show. They are great. Go buy their music. Go download their music. Go see them live. They're awesome. Go check them out, and when you do, tell them Dave says hi. And if you want to support us, you want to help us out, I'll make it simple this week. Just go to iTunes or Stitcher, rate, review, subscribe to the show. Tell the world what you think about it using either of those platforms, and then go tell two friends who you know who might enjoy a podcast about the entertainment business and professionals talking about their experiences, how they got to where they're going, and how they continue to succeed and thrive in this business. Because if that list didn't tell you, the people we have on this show, well, they're getting it done. All right, let's get into it with Rebecca Yarsin, casting director, House Productions, Connecticut native, John Mayer contemporary, Justin Long childhood buddy. We'll find out. Here's Rebecca. Enjoy. Do you want to hear yourself talk?
Not especially.
Not especially.
Then I'm going to be listening to it the whole time like, ooh.
But you sound good. Are you used to not hearing yourself at all?
No.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Because, and you are the first casting director I'm having on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
You are the very first, and which is kind of a shame. Not a shame, but it's like you guys are like the engine that runs this machine. So,
sure.
I wanted to have a casting director on, and I'm glad you are the first one I'm having on because it's such a big part of the process, and I wanted to definitely have someone on who could talk about it a little bit. But for you, like you're just not used to seeing or hearing yourself.
Not at all. In fact, I dislike it.
You dislike it?
I used to remember like listening to myself on the answering machine and having to like change it like 300 times because I hated it so much.
Back in college, is that your outgoing message?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Rebecca.
Hi, it's Rebecca. Or I would do the weird ones like, hello?
Oh, you did that one? Yeah.
Hello?
And then, gotcha, you jerks.
Exactly.
Yeah, leave a message.
You might think it's me, but really it's my answering machine.
You're so sneaky. That's such a cool deal. I did one where I would do top. Oh,
sorry.
That's okay. I would do top 10 lists
Ooh.
And I had a very short window, so I had to say them real fast. And I managed to get top 10 in there. You don't do that anymore, though. It's all voicemail.
No, and your voicemail now, because it has to be sort of professional.
Yeah, I kind of have to do that.
Yeah.
When I was younger, when I first started, I would do ridiculous things like that. And I would think that, hey, the casting directors would notice something like that. Would they?
I don't think it would have any bearing on what I think of you. I think sometimes it would be like, oh, they have a really fun voicemail. Unless it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's never good.
Well, creepy is never good. And that's probably our first lesson of the podcast is, according to Rebecca, creepy equals no good in the business.
No good.
No good.
No good.
No good. I have a bit of a fascination, and we'll start with this because this podcast, because my last name gets confused all the time, and it's just my cross to bear.
Sure.
Your last name. How badly do people butcher it?
Pretty much always.
Yeah. What have you heard?
I really hate Yarsin.
Yarsin? No.
Yarsin is my least favorite.
And it's very similar to how you would pronounce it.
Well, it's Yarsin.
Yeah. But they may turn into a Z sound. And you hate it.
But it's a Z. And
it's just enough.
It's enough that it kind of makes me crazy.
It just gets under your skin.
Yeah.
What's the worst botching of it?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know.
So you have that one tiny little change, and it's enough to send you over the edge.
It's enough to kind of send me over. And anytime I hear it, not really. There isn't really anything, because my dad has a Boston accent, so when he says it sounds really different. So I think I'm used to hearing it in different ways because my dad says it really weirdly.
How does he say it?
Yarsin.
Okay, so it's like a traditional Boston accent. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he goes to Star Market and picks up something from the car.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Park the car.
Yep.
Harvard Yard.
100%.
100%. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut. Fairfield, Connecticut.
But so you're New England, but not like New England, Boston, New England. You were like Southern New England.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm still a Red Sox fan.
You are a Red Sox fan.
I'm really sorry.
No. Because as far as things go, as a Met fan, we kind of have your number as far as World Series go.
Right.
And we both hate the Yankees. So I have no problem with you being a Red Sox fan.
Great.
Yeah.
And I live in Metsville right now. So
is it hard for you?
No, I don't mind it.
You don't have bad memories?
I don't mind the Mets.
No, okay. Well, I guess, were you a fan back in '86 when...
I was definitely a fan because my grandfather was a big Mets fan.
Okay. Would he have been angry knowing that you were in the heart of Mets fan? Mets fandomville? Maybe. What the hell does that even mean? But yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
So growing up in Connecticut, what town of Connecticut?
Fairfield, Connecticut, which is a very big part of Connecticut. Yep. A lot of people come out of Connecticut. Oh yeah. Went to high school with a lot of them.
Who did you go to high school with?
John Mayer.
Yeah. Okay.
Justin Long.
Okay.
Did a lot of theater with today, like Fairfield Teen Theater. But
okay.
I'm actually friends with his little brother, Christian. We did a lot more theater together.
Wow.
Who else is from Fairfield? James Blake, tennis star.
Yeah.
Raviv, who was Ricky Ullman on Phil of the Future on Nickelodeon. Just a bunch of like good people.
Yeah. And you got along well with the aforementioned?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know at the time, because now you're in the business of finding people who are going to be on TV and
sure.
and potentially famous and stuff like that. Did you get a vibe back then that they were destined for stardom?
Not necessarily, no.
Really?
No, because we all did theater.
Okay.
So it was just kind of like, these were the people that I loved. And I was surrounded by these people, and the people that have really made it, like Kate Sims she's done a bunch of TV shows, and she's a regular on things.
Yeah.
And I think of her as just part of like my Fairfield family that I grew up with.
Right.
John Mayer, he's always just been really, really talented. He played a lot of shows in Connecticut.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And he's just a really talented dude.
Did he do theater?
He did not.
He did not.
But he's in the same neighborhood that I grew up in.
Right.
And then like Justin didn't go to our high school. but he went to Fairfield Prep, and then he would do summer theater with us. But I spent a lot more time with his younger brother, for sure.
Sure.
Because he went to our school.
Okay. So why did one get to go to prep and the other didn't?
You know,
you wonder.
Those long brothers, you don't know.
There's a long brother story there somewhere.
You don't know.
We're gonna investigate that someday.
Very talented family. Very talented family.
Really?
Yeah.
Were there more longs than we know of?
There's another long.
Yet another long.
And the mother used to do theater.
Oh, okay.
A lot of theater.
That makes sense. I mean, you follow in your parents' footsteps a lot of the times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very talented family.
And now for you actually performed.
I did not.
You did not?
I never performed.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I was legitimately the person that was like, I want to do everything backstage. Everything.
That's great.
So I started interning at Downtown Cabaret Theater in Bridgeport, and I ran the Spotlight.
Nice.
For many years.
Nice.
And then I went to Westport Country Playhouse, and I started stage managing there.
Is that while you were still in high school, or was that later?
Yeah, still in high school.
Still in high school, okay.
And then I went to college for stage management.
That's very cool. Now, I'm always so appreciative and impressed by people who know they want to be in, and they don't necessarily feel the pressure to be on stage, because I think those people end up being so dedicated to the craft.
Totally.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer and a big fan of people who are like that.
Yeah.
And they tend to be very successful in the business by and large. Yeah. Like I had on Nora Skinner on the podcast, and she and I went to high school, and she did perform, but she knew like pretty early on that she wanted to be behind the scenes. She wanted to be involved, but she wanted to be behind the scenes, and she's like an Oscar-nominated producer.
Totally.
So it makes perfect sense that she went on to really good stuff, and you went on to really good stuff. And I think that's something that if you talk to somebody who's young and they're like, yeah, I want to be involved, but I don't really want to be on stage. It's like, go, do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was probably the best part of my growing up.
What about it made you feel good about it?
I had a really awesome community. And some of my best friends in high school, we worked at theaters in town together.
Yeah.
We were the youngest people at the theaters. We would be like the spot ops, or like running around getting all the props for everybody. Or I've truly met all of my best friends that are still my best friends from doing theater.
That's awesome.
And it also, everyone has a weird high school experience, and theater changes. I just felt like it changed my entire high school experience in the most positive way possible.
And your actual high school didn't provide any kind of theater stuff?
Theater.
Or they did have theater stuff?
Yeah, we had theater, but there were, we did like 2 shows a year.
Oh, okay. So you needed to go outside to get
and I needed to do more.
You needed to do more.
Yeah.
And look what it's gotten you. I mean, and you went to college. Where'd you go to college?
SUNY Purchase.
SUNY Purchase, which is a great school for theater.
Yep.
Renowned for
Stage management conservatory.
A stage manager conservatory.
Where do you get that?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a state school.
Yeah.
I mean, you were out of state, or were you?
I was out of state.
At that point, yeah. You were still out of state. And at a state school to get that concentrated an education in stage managing is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
What did you learn?
I could stage manage any show I needed to right now.
And not in the sense of just like hanging backstage and flipping one light. No, but it's more involved than that.
I could walk into any situation and be able to organize everything. My organizational skills are badass.
I'm sure.
Not in my personal life, but in my professional life, I am the most organized human you'll ever know. But I also learned about, really helping the director maintain the artistic intent. The whole thing is about the vibe when you walk into a room, like really trying to keep that as much as you possibly can to create an environment that is conducive to art and being able to create and give as much as you possibly can, which honestly has carried over into casting in the best possible way.
I think a lot of people are a lot of people misunderstand the role of a stage manager.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a forgotten thing, but it shouldn't be, because they're the ones, like when a director finishes directing a show in a big production,
you maintain it.
Yeah, the stage manager is the one who's running the show after it goes to opening night. So it's like they are a huge piece of the puzzle, but I don't know if everybody gets the same education as far as how important that is.
Yeah, I also think that there are some really great stage managers and some really bad ones.
Of course, yeah.
So depending on who they are and what your experience is with a stage manager, that will totally change how you feel about them and what their role is.
Yes, definitely. At Purchase, Purchase, when I was in school, had the great reputation for being a theater school, especially as a state school, and it also had a reputation of being kind of like the emo school. Was it the emo school? Yeah. What did it turn out that way?
Absolutely. I mean, Regina Spektor was there with me
at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Like you have it was definitely a place where everyone is free to create whatever they want.
Yeah.
And so I think because of that, it is a little bit emo. It was also built by a man who builds jails.
I didn't know that, but that totally fits, because you look at it and it looks like a penitentiary.
It looks like a penitentiary. And most of the school, what you don't see is that there's an entire system underneath it.
Really?
There's a whole tunnel system, and it connects to the theaters. So you can go all the way underground from your class to the theaters.
That's cool.
And it's all underground. Because it was built for riots.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yep. And the doors, they don't open in. They don't open out.
They open in to keep people in.
I mean, it's a fascinating place.
Were there doors on the stalls in the bathrooms?
Oh, yeah. Above ground, everything's normal.
Oh, okay. But underground is where it all happened.
It doesn't look great, but it's all normal.
Was there some freaky stuff going on underground?
No,
it just was like normal day of life.
Mostly the theater people were down there.
Nobody
else.
Wait a minute. Mostly theater people, and you're saying no freaky stuff happened? I have a hard time believing.
Okay. All right. Yes, there were some things, but like tech theater things. Like, technical theater people are a whole different breed of human.
Absolutely.
Like these are the people who are like building things and getting drunk and building things.
Sure.
Not the people who are just like getting drunk and being stupid. We're like building things. Yeah.
Well, that was a productive use of your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You actually figure things out and then you light it perfectly. I mean, it's a whole different land of weird things.
What side of the coin did you fall on? Were you, because it's almost like now where we separate the art from the business. At Purchase, did you fall into the kind of acting stage, that side of things, or the technical side? Because the people I knew growing up who were on the technical side, they were some of the smartest people I knew, some of the most just creative people I knew, but it was all in a very mathematical, scientific way. Yeah. And all the artistic actor people were smart in a different way. Which one did you gravitate towards?
Well, I'm terrible at math. And science.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily on this. I align with the...
You hung with the...
I hung with everybody.
Gotcha.
I did fail drafting.
Okay.
But everything else was really good. I was really good at lighting design and costume design, all the things. Yeah. But I think because I was always in the bridge because I was always stage managing a show. So I was with the actors most of the time. And then my classes were in the design.
Interesting.
Tech,
yeah.
So I would be with the tech theater people all day and then rehearsal with actors at night.
And you knew how to speak the language of both tribes. Both. Yeah. Very cool.
I think acting classes, because as a stage manager, you have to take an acting class. Mm-hmm. That was like one of the worst experiences of my entire life. Like, this is awful. I get it. I respect you.
What do you think was your worst experience as far as taking an acting class?
I'm not a very... I'm pretty shy in general.
Which is kind of hard to believe, because knowing you for as long as I have, you are a very bright, shiny, outgoing person among people, and I think you are among actors. considered a favorite casting director. So
thank you.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, you're a very positive influence on everybody. So to hear you're shy, it makes sense, but it's kind of surprising a little bit.
Well, I'm also like not one of those people that would want to, go and be the center of attention somewhere.
I see.
But could I go and give a speech about something? Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a whole different
it's a weird dynamic.
tool set.
I think you and I are a little bit similar to that, because I do have that part of me that just kind of wants to go home and be quiet and tell everybody, okay, good night. You put me in front of, however many thousands of people, and I'm totally like, oh yeah, this is easy.
Totally.
Yeah, okay, totally. I understand.
You put me in front of a cast, I can totally take charge and do my thing.
Sure.
But man, if you make me do a scene,
oh, not good.
They're like the sweats and the tears, the weird shaking. But
you learn. I mean, you like you said, you gain a respect for
100%.
what goes on either on stage or on camera, which is great. I think and it helps you in your current career, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So 4 years at Purchase?
4 years at Purchase.
4 years at Purchase. And then what did you do?
Then I came to New York, was stage managing a lot. I worked at a lot of really incredible companies and a lot of off-Broadway. And
when you started, because it's very a different start for an actor, or it's a very unique start for an actor versus any other career, because the prescribed route just doesn't exist.
Sure.
Is it same for stage managers?
Yeah, I think I was really fortunate with going to Purchase, because when I graduated only with one other stage manager.
Oh, okay.
So, and all of our teachers, the best thing about Purchase was that all of our teachers were working professionals. So they were all doing Broadway shows. They were all actively working. So we had a really incredible network of people that we could reach out to pretty quickly.
That is great.
So we were able to really get decent gig openings, not necessarily the jobs, but we had a lot more open doors.
That's great.
Than I anticipated. So quite quickly, I was, one of the team at MTC and working on New York Theater Workshop, and and
so you were
Mandy Hackett, and
rather than a lot of actors who have to dive into the non-union off Broadway pool and trying to work your way towards paying work. You were getting into positions that actually paid some money.
Yeah, really quickly, and then I turned union.
Uh-oh.
And then I was unemployed.
Oh, isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah. It's I talk about that really regularly, because I have a lot of people asking me if they should join SAG. That is one of my number one questions that I get asked.
Sure.
And I say, well, I wouldn't until you're really ready, because it cuts you off from so many jobs if you're not ready.
Yeah.
And I tell my story often, because I'm like, I was at the top of my game. I was really, I thought that I was the shit, And then I was put on a show, and I was given my equity card from that. And I did not anticipate that I was going to go into a much larger pool of people.
Yeah, with much fewer jobs, many fewer jobs.
Way fewer jobs.
Sure.
And I'm fighting against people who've had 10 Broadway shows under their belt.
Sure.
So, unemployed every 6 months, begging for jobs and trying to go to all the producers. And in that time, it was I was walking to producers' offices and dropping off my resume.
Oh, wow. Really beating the street.
Legitimately.
Yeah. Pre-internet, middle, early internet.
AIM. Okay,
yeah. So
dial up still, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this was where you really had to do pen and paper kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was a different world. That was a different set of rules and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, right now, and I don't want to veer off too much into that, idea of union work. I mean, the SAG-AFTRA is got this big campaign to try and encourage as much union participation as possible.
Totally.
And I agree with that 100%. But I also can see from the other side thinking, hey, how am I going to get a reel together if I don't do work? And if I don't have a reel, I can't get an agent. If I can't get an agent, I won't get opportunities in union jobs. So there's a lot of give and take there, and I don't know if there's a perfect solution for it. But somebody who's just starting out today, they just graduated, I can't necessarily say to them, oh yeah, well, don't take any non-union work, because how are they going to get any experience?
Right.
And so I totally agree with that from a functional standpoint, even though I wish there was a method by which, whether it's stage managers or actors or whatever, can earn their way into the union while still also gaining experience doing non-union stuff if they have to.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about equity that I really appreciated, was that there was the EMC program.
Okay.
And that you got points for all the work that you were doing. So you joined this program, and then as you were doing shows, you would get points that would get you to the place where you were ready.
Right.
And then you could become a full member. I skipped that process completely. And had I done that, I think I would have been in a much better place by the time I joined the union.
Sure.
But I really appreciate that, where, with SAG,
it's all or nothing.
It's three jobs and you're in.
Yeah.
You are in.
Yeah.
And you might hit it lucky when you first start on the scene.
Yeah. And I'm an example of that. I was doing non-union work for maybe a year. But I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But one of those led to a meeting with an agent who sent me out on a union gig, and I booked a union gig. And then a couple months later, I booked another union gig. It was like, okay, I guess I'm joining the union.
Yeah.
And at the time, it worked out because there was a lot more opportunity at the time.
Sure.
So I didn't necessarily hurt for it, but I didn't have that sense of building up to that point. It was pretty smooth.
Well, why would you? Also, if you had the opportunities, And I'm not to say that I don't believe in SAG. I think that as a union, it's a great union.
Sure.
And I'd much rather work on SAG jobs.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
Everybody gets paid well. I know what I'm getting. Everything is it's not like the wild, wild west.
Yes. Yeah. The tough part is now, in retrospect, being in the union and being staunchly dedicated to the idea that I'm not going to work non-union jobs, and now fighting against the tide of non-union work, we're kind of stuck. And unless something changes, there's a lot of people who are having a hard time making a living, and that's rough.
And it's horrible.
And it's hard for you, and it's hard for us, and it's hard for everybody who's trying to make a living doing this thing. Yeah. Forget about whatever fringe benefits might come out of it. It's really a matter of, we just want to put food on the table.
Totally.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's not the same as it used to be, where there were so many jobs a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you and I first met, I can't even imagine how many years. And I don't know, when did you start with House?
In 2005.
2005. So it was only a short while after I got in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I only got my SAG card in 2003. And I was coming here, I guess, periodically, but then you and I, I came here for an audition, and that's all. The rest is history.
Right.
So how did you go? Wait, let's talk about that. How did you go from stage managing to working here?
Well, I was unemployed pretty often. I would go from show to unemployment, show to unemployment, show to unemployment. And I was, doing odd jobs and selling merchandise and, folding T-shirts at places. And it was enough. It was kind of enough. And a director friend of mine kind of took me under his wing and said, come with me. You can shadow me whenever you want. And I was really flirting with becoming a director at the time, and I went to a bunch...
A stage director? Or
stage
director.
Stage, yeah. And I went to a bunch of his days with him, which included casting, which included production meetings, which included designer meetings.
That's a great experience.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think maybe I want to do casting. So I started doing a bunch of internships in legit casting first. Okay. Because I thought that was the perfect place for me.
Well, it also relates to the theater experience you had.
Exactly.
Legit, and if somebody's like, what do you mean legit? But that's theater, TV, film. Yeah. And since you were working with theater people anyway, why not go where those actors are going to be?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So I started interning at those places. And for me, it just felt like... it really did matter what your headshot was, who your agent was. It was like I was living in chorus line every day going, I don't think this is for me. Like, I really didn't like it. I weirdly loved open calls because everybody could be there.
A little more democratic.
Exactly. Yeah. It was a little bit less like, I don't know, who are you repped by?
That's, yeah.
You know, and it really felt, for me, I really wanted to, coming from a stage manager who was there as an advocate for actors.
Sure.
It just felt really kind of false for me to be doing theatrical at the time, where it was really like pulling people's headshots and looking at their agents and then putting them in like piles. And
that was still pre-digital taking over everything. You were really looking at those headshots that we would mail in every 2 days. Yeah.
I would file those every single day.
Wow.
Of internships, you know. It was a lot. And then it really wasn't, it just didn't feel right. So then I started looking for other opportunities. And I got a phone call. My aunt is an agent.
Oh, okay.
And no longer. She's retired from the business.
Oh, well, there goes my next question.
I know. But that's how I really fell in love with the business in the first place. But she called me and said, listen, I don't know if you know anything about commercial casting, but there is an office and they are looking for somebody and they're awesome. I happen to really love them and I think you should reach out.
Very cool.
So
Was she active at the time?
She was active
at
the time.
And now I have to know. Who was your aunt?
Wendy Edelman at Gage Group.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I met her at a seminar years and years and years ago. I never made that connection.
Wendy and Phil, my aunt and uncle at Gage.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So Wendy was like, I just feel like you guys would hit it off. And she said, just use me as a reference. I'm not getting you in. And I was like, great.
Fair.
Very fair.
Sure.
So I called and I said, how can I apply for the job? I don't know. You don't know. I heard about it from word of mouth.
Right.
And maybe a day later, Brooke Thomas called me.
Oh, that's cool.
And she said, we'd love to get you in for an interview. And I came in and it just felt right. It felt right. Neil and I had a really good conversation.
Neil Meyer, who founded this place.
My boss man.
Your boss man.
He and I had a conversation about how, we were here for the right reasons. We were here because we really wanted to help actors do what they want to do. And, because it's commercials, you get to help people make some money.
Sure.
And, it just felt right. It just felt really right. And it never felt like he taught me everything about commercials and was like, anybody can be in a commercial. You can walk down the street and see anybody and be like, that guy is the star of that commercial.
Right.
Anybody, literally anybody. And it just really made sense.
It's the ultimate epitome of that very democratic thing you were looking for that you couldn't find in the legit office, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And one of the first spots I ever cast here was the Mohegan Sun commercial where it was all these people singing and dancing.
Okay, yeah.
So I brought in every single musical theater person I knew.
Of course, yeah, why not?
I was shutting down Broadway shows.
Nice.
I brought everybody here. I had Broadway producers calling me like hate voicemails.
Nice.
But it really helped me merge all of the things that I loved so much.
Which is what you want to do with life. You want to have experiences that build with each other and complement each other, and you mesh them together, and you have this nice career that you build off of it. That's very cool.
Yeah, it's been really great.
When you started, you had what was your position when you started? Because it wasn't you weren't casting director right off the bat. You were front desk?
I ran the front desk.
No kidding.
For 8 weeks.
Okay.
And it was probably the best thing that has ever happened to me because I had to learn how to take over a front desk.
Yeah.
I had never answered
front desk here
a phone.
Is pretty. Oh, really?
I had never answered a phone ever. I have folded T-shirts. I have served drinks. I have done many a thing. Answering a phone was one of the things that I had never done, ever.
That's amazing.
So that front desk nearly killed me.
It's a busy front desk.
I learned who every single agent in New York City was within those 8 weeks.
That's a great boot camp then.
It was awesome. I learned who everybody was really quickly. I got all the information I needed. And at that time, Nia, who was before me, she was moving to Texas.
Oh, wow.
And so it literally just worked out. The timing worked out so perfectly that I only lasted a couple months, and then I was back here, and I was an assistant. And then maybe, I don't know, a year later, I was already an associate, and now I'm a casting director.
Right. Now, you've climbed the ladder here for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest difference between what it was like when you started back then, and that was 2006
is when I moved back.
Okay, 6 is when you started hanging out in the back offices, where all the cool kids
not running the front desk,
not running the front desk, and having to take pictures of people. Like, you took Polaroids back then. Yeah.
But I knew every single person that walked in. I got to know everybody like that.
That's pretty amazing. You know, they almost should start everybody there.
Everybody who
every
works
office should
here
do that.
has.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I did it. Christina, who just moved to LA, she did it before. Ania had done it before that.
Wow.
Beth, who's now running sessions, she ran it after me, but this is the kind of place where, and there's so much stability here. I was going to ask you what the differences are, but one amazing thing about this is that there's been incredible stability here, as opposed to some of the other casting offices, which have changed locations a couple times, and the staff changes a whole bunch. But there's been a definite progression of people within house, which is great, and it stands as one of my favorite places to come and audition, because most of the people who run sessions have been here longer than I have.
Which is great.
Which is awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's family.
But in terms of what you observe industry-wise, what do you think the biggest difference is between what it was like when you started and what it's like now, besides the whole digital thing, which is a whole...
Yeah, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Industry-wise, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit... there aren't the very... I think we were super aware of when the slow times were when I first started.
There was an ebb and flow.
There was definitely this ebb and flow that happened, and you were like, oh, it's going to be slow next month. We know that happens every January. This happens.
Right.
You know, we were more aware of when the slow periods were going to be and when the busy times were going to be. And now it's just kind of like, what's happening? It's a little bit less.
I think all of us are in that same boat too. We all kind of are like, when you run into other actors, I'm like, what is it like for you right now? Because none of it makes sense anymore.
At all.
Yeah.
It's very sporadic.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like right now we're really, really busy.
Which is great.
But 2 months ago we weren't really, really busy, you know, and like tomorrow we are just prepping jobs, whereas today we had 7 jobs running today.
Jeez, yeah.
You know, so it really, it comes and goes very quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was the case when I first started. It just always felt really solid. You know? Yeah,
there was the business has changed tremendously, and commercials have changed tremendously, so it's understandable.
A lot of it's interesting because a lot of the commercials, I find that they'll make like 15 spots for the same product at once.
Yeah.
Rather than doing like one, and then the next one is, you know, I remember like doing Burlington every 3 months because they would have like the Mother's Day one, the back to school, the Father's Day, the fall,
So marketing has changed, and that affects the advertising, and that affects everything else. Wow, that's really... You really stretch it out, and you kind of broaden the scope. You see that it starts way before you get to a commercial. It's
100%.
Yeah. Like, so who's starting all this?
I know, right?
If we can find that guy or girl...
Can we talk to that guy?
We need to have a conversation with these people who are sitting at a restaurant right now.
Yeah.
Screwing up our whole calendar.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
One big thing I noticed somewhere in the middle of my career that changed here is that you stopped doing the big print stuff. Mm-hmm. What was the reason you guys didn't do that anymore?
You know, we had a fashion division.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so we had this fashion division. Fashion, the woman, when I first started, she had a whole team of people. And then she broke off to start her own company.
Okay.
Her assistant took over and had her own fashion division. Then she left to start her own company.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then another guy came in who was really more of like a high-end fashion runway guy. And he did 2 seasons of the Made Fashion Week.
Okay.
And then he also left. And so when he left, I think that we all just said, we don't know anything about fashion at all.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're not good at that. And Neil goes, do you know what he would do? And I would say, no. I'm not really up on the fashion.
No, yeah. And as an actor, all I knew is that it would be the funniest juxtaposition, because sometimes you come into this place and they'd be casting for guys who look like me and average Joe schlub, kind of dorky, whatever. Yeah. And then at the same time, you'd be casting for 6 foot tall,
the gazelles.
thin gazelle fashion models. Totally. And it was like the most uncomfortable thing ever. It was like a dance in junior high.
The best is when we had voiceover and they would be casting for the runway shows. Oh. And so they would have like all the guys out here for the voiceovers. Sure. And then the girls would be like walking back and forth and doing their runway
That's where they would do that?
They would do it right here.
I didn't realize that. That's so funny.
And so the voiceover guys would all just be like... They were also building the High Line at the same time. So all the guys who were working at the High Line, they would look in here and be lunchtime was just checking on the models.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But those days.
Oh my gosh.
But you guys still have the portrait, the Polaroid wall.
Yeah. So the Polaroids now are the very last runway shows that Edward Kim had cast.
Okay.
So they were all of his. We're still trying to find our old Polaroids because those were so cool.
I would love to see a whole bunch of my own Polaroids, as horrible as they were.
We keep finding some really good ones.
Really?
That are like Rob Hubel or what's his face?
Guys have gone on to do huge stuff.
Like huge guys. We have a really good funny one of Michael C. Hall that he just looks like such a baby. I'll bet. He's so young.
And you got to know people like real early. Like who besides, you may name those 2, but who else did you remember running into when you were at the front desk, let's say, who have now...
at the front desk. I mean, I keep watching Aubrey Plaza right now because I'm so proud of her. She's just killing it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, like Kate McKinnon, for sure, was one of my favorite humans. And now she's going to be in Ghostbusters.
Yeah. It's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah. It kind of kills my brain. The Broad City Girls. I mean, I think it's all about improvisers for me.
What is it about improvisers? And it's not that... I mean, because I kind of get it. But for somebody who's looking at it right now, how big is improv in casting commercials now?
I think it's... Not only is it the best skill you could have as a human being, because, listening, reacting.
Sure.
Being in a conversation for real. But I think if you're able to actually live within a scene that's happening and able to bring yourself in something else that they don't anticipate happening, that's gold.
Yeah.
It's just gold. If someone asks you to do something else and you do something totally different, how cool can that be?
Yeah.
I mean, it really is the element of surprise or the element of excitement, because really a script is waiting for an actor to bring it to life.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We need you to bring it to life. We kind of have a vision. The director gives us what he wants. The ad agency tells us kind of what they want. We try and put the pieces together, but until you have the actors, you don't have breath in it at all.
Sure.
So if you're able to bring something else that really breathes something else into it and then adjust it or adapt it or add more to it and really make it better, I can't think of anything better than that.
Yeah. So that brings up something that I wanted to do with you, because the podcast, it came out strange, that sentence.
I'm really excited.
Yes. Yeah. Part of my hope for this podcast is that somebody who is just getting into the business, someone who's just outside the business is wanting to get in, might take some notes from this and have a better sense of the business before they get into it. And there are even some things about casting directors that are still kind of a mystery to me. It's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. You know, there's a curtain there that I don't know. I don't know what it's covering all the time. Mm-hmm. So there's behind the scenes of being a casting director. So if you could, with me, take me through the process of how a commercial gets made from your perspective.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So where does it begin?
Okay. So I guess it starts with the person who owns the company. Okay, so let's use like M&Ms because I'm now thinking about M&Ms for some weird reason.
Why wouldn't you?
Right. So you're
welcome, M&Ms.
Thank you.
Because we've just probably caused 12 people to run out and buy bags of M&Ms.
I mean, seriously, peanut M&Ms, there's nothing better.
No, there is not. No.
Okay, so Mr. M&M, right? Mr. M&M is like, we have to advertise because we always advertise. So let's advertise. He hires the ad agency. The ad agency does their brilliant writing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you watch Mad Men, you get a sense of that part.
You get
a
sense of that whole thing.
Yes.
You know, the smoking, the drinking, the writing, the storyboarding.
The illicit affairs within the office.
You get
the terrible parenting. Yeah.
The meetings with the clients, their pitching of their writing.
The endless alcohol in the middle of the day.
The endless laying on the couch, lamenting. So yeah, they come up with their ideas.
And nobody says goodbye on the phone.
Nobody.
I don't get it, but
yeah, that's a really good point.
Sorry, I derailed you.
I'm sorry,
you're on a roll.
That was a really good point. Yeah, so they pitch their idea to Mr. M&M. Mm-hmm. Mr. M&M says, "Great, green light, go for it." The ad agency hires the director. Mm-hmm. The director is part of a production company. The producer calls casting.
Right. And that's where you come in.
That's where I come in.
Okay.
So typically we get hired by directors.
Okay.
The director.
Well, that's interesting. That's an aspect I didn't actually know.
Yeah. So like we have really good relationships with directors, and theoretically we know their style. We know what they're going to want, and it just makes the process a lot easier.
Sure.
And so we get hired by the director. The director has their own producer. The producer coordinates the entire thing. Typically, the director and the ad agency together come up with casting specs. Mm-hmm. Then we get the specs.
Now, when you say a spec,
spec is like 30 is guy next door. You know,
the description of the characters they need for the commercial. Okay.
Ethnically ambiguous.
You're gonna have to explain that later.
Any ethnicity. Men and women ages 2 to 97.
Generally human.
Aspirational. Yeah.
May or may not have thumbs.
May or may not have facial hair, thumbs, eyes, long hair, short hair, red hair, black hair.
So that list of specs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we get that list, and then I typically will give it to the agents.
Okay. Now, do you get, in your case, you send them direct to agents?
It depends on the job.
Okay.
It depends on the job, but for the most part, yes. I will send my write-up of the job.
And we call those breakdowns.
Right.
It's the same exact
thing.
Same thing.
So I send a breakdown to all of the agents. They send me lists of people that like don't have conflicts, that are available, that they think are right for each character. Mm-hmm. And then I literally pick each person that I want to bring in. You hand pick the ones that you know. I'm really old school. Yeah. And I write everything in pencil.
Nice.
I mean, I like do the thing.
Cool.
And I write everybody down. I give out the times, and but for me, I think that it's a matter of really trusting your agents too, though. Mm-hmm. If they think that somebody is right, I always say, please put that person in. If you want to replace with somebody else, like if I don't know somebody, I would love to have new people in. Mm-hmm. It's really, you have to trust your agents, or else there's no point in giving it to agents.
And that's why agents are important to the process, because they sort of vet the talent for you so that you're not bringing in just anybody off the street. Even though anybody off the street could be in a commercial, you don't know how they're going to appear once you put a camera in front of them.
Well, and also it gives an added sense of responsibility. Mm-hmm. So you know that these people have someone behind them that's like, they don't have a conflict. There's not going to be anything. Right. There aren't going to be any issues, really.
Right.
If they don't behave on set, we know who to call.
Sure.
There is an added amount of responsibility. That being said, we do a lot of real people casting.
Which is a newer kind of thing, right?
And we have a real people casting director that we work with, and those people sometimes are, it's like the Wild West. There's nothing behind them that says that they have to show up, that they have to keep a conflict.
It's a crapshoot. You
never really know.
Sure.
That's why it's like, I love doing jobs through agents, because that there really is an added sense of like security in a way.
There's a recourse.
Absolutely. Yeah,
because we don't want to, as an actor, I don't want to mess up because I don't want to get a bad relationship with the casting director. I don't want to have a bad relationship with the director. I don't want to have a bad relationship with my own agent. Right. So I have people to answer to who are going to be affected if I screw up. But if I was hanging out there in the wind.
Yeah. I mean, and like, I can't meet everybody. Right. I can't.
Of course not.
There's only so much time in a day. There's only so many workshops and classes I can teach and all that kind of stuff. And the agents are also meeting new people. So if you trust them and are able to really like use them as a resource, you get to meet new people. You get to meet new faces. You get to keep your castings fresh and, new and exciting, and bring in new people that are right for things.
Right. And that's what new is an element that you can only have when you are new.
Yes.
So it's like, I couldn't be the new guy, could I?
No, but you could be new to a different director.
That's true.
Right? So it's a matter of making sure that I know my job too, because if I know that you booked something with this director, I'll probably bring you in again for that same director. But if you've never met this other new director that I think would love you, I'll probably bring you in for that one.
And if I do a good job, it only helps you because it really reinforces their trust in you as a casting director. So it's all symbiotic.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you guys make me look good. Like if you have a bad, if I were to send off audition tapes that were really bad, that director's never hiring me again.
Of course.
So I want to make sure that you have great auditions.
Yes. And that's why I think some people who consider this to be an antagonistic relationship, or they think that there's somebody out to get them or something like that, and they don't put their best foot forward with casting directors or whoever. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot, because we all are working together for the same goal.
Right.
And nobody's out there trying to stop you from getting work. So why make it hard for the casting director?
Right. And if I like you, I'm more likely to continue to bring you in. Of course. And put you in front of my favorite directors.
Absolutely. And it only makes sense. And I consider it a badge of honor if somebody trusts me as an actor to want to put me in a good position. And I think, if I deserve that, I think I'm doing fairly well, no matter what happens after the fact. So let's talk after the fact. Yeah. So let's say I come in, you have scheduled me for an audition, I go in, I read, and usually I go into a room and it's a camera and one person, and I'm reading the script for the commercial to the camera.
Yep.
Okay, I leave.
Great.
What happens?
So we post everything. So everything is digital now. Yeah. The second you audition, I can watch it from my computer.
Amazing.
So I do that. It's not that weird.
It's just amazing to think about these days, how quickly everything can happen.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's actually really awesome.
Yeah, in the old days, you had to send off tapes like by messenger, right?
Yeah.
Like physical tapes. God. Yeah.
DVDs. We would have to burn like 10 DVDs and then send them to the director, the agency, the production company. We would have to send out so many and send out handwritten logs with them to correlate so that they knew which track went to who.
Sure.
It was crazy. But
now it was a slower process.
Oh, yeah. And you were here all night, like burning DVDs. It was crazy.
Jeez.
But now everything's instant.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Someone's looking at it on their iPhone when you send it to them.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can send it. We send it at end of day. So we send everyone at the end of day. We only edit if you have a take that really sucks. Right, then we'll take that out. We don't send. Do
you send all the auditions, or do you? Yeah. You don't winnow it down at all.
Very rarely.
Very rarely. Okay.
Very rarely.
Sure.
Because I brought you in.
Yeah. And you want people to see.
I want people to see you. I want people to know that I'm doing my job. I'm not just bringing in like 10 choices. You know?
Right.
So we send it off. The director picks his picks, and the ad agency team typically pick their picks, and those are the callbacks. So
usually that's interesting. That's a part that I didn't really know 100%. So you have a director who might have ideas, and you have the agency who might have ideas,
and we're just hoping and praying that they match.
They overlap. Yeah.
When you have really, really, really big callbacks, that's when they don't match as well. That
answers a lot of questions. Very cool.
Yeah. So you have two different directions happening.
Sure.
So when you have the smaller ones, it means that they're really on the same page.
Okay. Very cool.
And they're really just understanding each other and what the vision is. So those are the callbacks. We have callbacks.
So I'm scheduled to come back to read that again only when I walk in. It's not just one person on a camera. It's like 7 or 8 people sitting on couches, possibly eating food, looking at iPhones, and we say hi.
Yep.
And I do the callback.
Yep.
And then, this is the part that has always been a mystery to me. I walk out of that room. I've done my callback. I've done the best I can. I feel good that nobody got hurt, and I go home, and my wife says, how'd it go? And I say, well, fine, we'll see, because I have no idea what happens after that point.
Sure.
What happens after that point?
Okay, so typically what happens is, you know how you have to take those pictures that you guys all hate?
Yeah.
Okay. So normally what happens is...
And just to describe for somebody who's never been through the process, when you walk in, it used to be Polaroids, but now they say, okay, go to the front desk and get a picture. And you stand there, and they take a digital picture of you with a camera that is just beautifully designed to take a very dull, not impressive picture of you, and you just have to deal with the fact that is your stamp on life from that point forward.
Yes.
And it's printed out onto a card where you write your name and all your height and weight and all that stuff, and you hand that to the person who's doing the audition when you walk in, and that's your ID badge for that job.
That is your ID badge.
Yes. Okay. So what happens then?
So normally, by the end of session, the director has made a pile of his choices, the people that he really likes.
Okay.
And he'll lay out those pictures and try and figure out the puzzle. Okay. So they figure it out however they do it. Some people pin them up, some people put them on the floor, some people whatever. And then we will typically go back and watch the video at that time.
Okay.
So he makes his picks, he or she make their picks, and then we go back and we watch the callbacks. And then sometimes we don't, most of the time we do that. They like to review.
Okay.
And then the agency and the director fight it out and really try and figure out what the best piece of the puzzle is. The biggest issue is then while they're trying to find out who they're going to present, because now they have to present to Mr. Eminem.
So they're not making the final decision that day.
No.
They now have to go to a meeting that may happen a couple days later with Mr. Eminem. Okay.
Exactly. So they finalize who they want to present, first choice backup for every role. We make a selects link. So we edit everything down, we put it all together, and then we send it off. And they send it to Mr. Eminem.
Okay.
And then they have a presentation with Mr. Eminem.
Wow.
Because, theoretically, if it's his money, he's funding this entire process,
which can be incredibly expensive.
Expensive, even though he has entrusted everybody along the way to make this spot. He may not want to see his stepmother's face on television.
Oh,
so that's
so he
where
has to have
this
final
comes
stamp
from.
on it. Yeah,
exactly. This is exactly where that comes from.
Well, that example gives it a real life consequence that actually anybody could understand.
Yeah.
Because you might hear that story and be like, why does he need to sign off on it? What's so important about that? But you just never know.
You never know.
And you'd rather he make the final call than you make the final call, because then it's gone through the whole process. Everybody signed off on it. There's no regret after the fact.
Absolutely.
Totally understandable.
Not only that, but then it really...
And when you say, by the way, stepmother, that you don't mean his actual stepmother, someone who looks like his stepmother.
Exactly.
Yes. Which makes even more sense.
Exactly. Yes. He doesn't want his ex-girlfriend from high school, someone that looks exactly... He doesn't want to stare at that face and see it every day and be like, oh my God.
And dump all that money into a commercial featuring somebody he has a very bad opinion of.
Exactly.
Psychologically, it makes perfect sense.
It makes total sense.
Yes.
It also takes the pressure off the director, the ad agency, the casting director, because in the end, it's not up to us.
Right.
We can facilitate and we can do as much as we possibly can to get you up there. But in the end, it's up to Mr. M&M.
Yeah. And so he gives his final say. How often would you say that those final one or two people, like the first or second choices, are just completely wrong and you have to start digging deeper?
Rarely.
Okay. Rarely. So by then, the cast is, the die is cast.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely hire the right people to surround themselves with. So it's not as, it doesn't feel as off base.
Okay. So it is a fairly smooth process from that point. For
the most part.
Do you have like a nightmare story? Without naming anybody like Mr. M&M specifically.
I mean, we've definitely had the jobs that you've had to continue casting for. You
had to go back to the drawing board
9 days later. Or,
wow.
Nobody got approved, and the next you get the call at midnight, and you have to start again that morning because they have to shoot the next day. Those are always fun.
It does kind of like wrap up a lot of loose ends for me because as an actor, you go to your callback and you're like, hey, I did my best. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what decisions are going to be made. Yeah. And honestly, I don't know like what I could have possibly done to change Mr. M&M's mind if I look like his idiot neighbor. Exactly. So be it. But I mean, there is still that kind of like walking a tightrope feeling.
Yeah, of
because
course.
It's like, if I get that job, it can mean significant money. And if I don't, it changes the future of the next several months.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I feel like you should always just go in there and know that like you did your job.
Yeah, and which is what I learned to do.
And you just make friends. That's all it is. Like Tracy Goldblum at Abrams,
who's my agent,
she said, I was on a panel with her once, and she said, well, think about it. It's like a play date. And all you want to do is get invited back.
That's true.
And I'm like, it's so genius because you want to make friends.
Yes.
Everything is about making friends.
Yes.
The more they like you, the more they're going to remember you. And there are so many directors that haven't gotten people approved that have brought them in for other projects or requested them for other things.
And it just goes to show that I've always said that this business is 95% relationships. Everything else is kind of like just up in the air. You can't focus on that because you, generally speaking, you cannot do anything about the fact that Mr. M&M may look at your face and be like, I can't stand that guy.
Exactly.
Because he reminds me of somebody else. So why bother stressing about it?
Right. It's not up to you.
Yeah.
And all you can do is present yourself. And
sure.
That is truly the best you can do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm so glad to have a lot of those mysteries wrapped up. I mean, it's not far from because I mean, it's not like I thought there was like a Dr. Seuss machine behind the curtain, but
no, I'm much more like the Wizard of Oz. I'm just like, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a heart, and here's residuals for that heart.
And I am wearing a top hat and a monocle.
So, besides the casting stuff, you've also done some teaching. So, what does that involve for you?
Well, now I'm actually. I have been teaching on-camera commercials for a really long time, and I've been moving into coaching. So I do some audition prep and stuff like that, but I also work for a company called Actor Salon, where it's life coaching and actor accountability coaching. And it really is just a group of people who are really supportive of each other and really about trying to find actable steps to actually move forward in your career,
which is hard to do when you get to a certain point.
Yeah, because you flounder. You flounder, or you want to do all the things.
Yes.
Like you want to do all the things, and sometimes you really just need to be able to focus on one thing in order to have success come to you.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good summation of a really good philosophy that I'm sure has helped a lot of people, because you do hit those plateaus and it's like, well, what the hell do I do now?
Yeah.
And to have somebody who's kind of coaching your way through that's so how do people how do people find that?
It's actorsalon.com.
You did they did well to get that URL. Very nice.
Exactly.
Very good.
And it's out of Los Angeles, and I run the New York section with another woman here. So I'm kind of moving away from actually teaching. I'm doing a bunch of like guest appearances places, but I can't give it up entirely. But I'm also stage managing a show right now, so it's a little.
What's the show? Go ahead.
Bananas.
What's the show?
It's called The Sweet Texas Reckoning.
What's that about?
It is a lovely lesbian family story in Texas.
Very cool.
Starring Orla Cassidy. Do you know Orla?
I don't.
And Michelle Hurd and Jane Summerhays and
Michelle
Matt
Hurd
Walton.
Was on Matt Walton. Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's good. And Jeffrey Cantor's directing it. And it's
and you've worked with Jeffrey
one.
A few times.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. We are old pros at this.
Old pros.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to stage manage for fun.
And where's that going on?
Well, we're doing it at the Thespius Festival first.
Okay.
With hopes to go somewhere in the fall.
Somewhere in the fall.
Yeah,
well,
so this is like our reading of it, basically.
If people want to get in touch with you, if people have questions or just want to follow you online and in a non-stalkery way, because we've established creepy is bad. Yeah. How do people find you online?
I'm super Googleable. I mean, my Facebook is everywhere. My Instagram, Rebecca Yarsin.
Okay.
But also Rebecca at housecasting.com.
Well, that's very kind of you.
It's very, very simple.
Awesome.
Well, if you were to Google Rebecca Yarsin email, it would probably say Rebecca at housecasting.com.
I guess so. Yeah.
So I might as well be open and honest about it.
We've just saved people typing trauma on their fingers.
I mean, it's a real thing.
This is what we do. Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure.
That's Rebecca Yarsin, casting director extraordinaire, super kind person, and somebody who just lets you know how you can get in touch with her directly. That's rare and a gift that, man, you should take advantage of. Because Rebecca's a great person to know in this business, and she just opened the door for you to do that. Otherwise, if you want to find out more about what Rebecca does, you can go to housecasting.com. You can follow her Instagram at Becca Yarsin. Link to that will be in the show notes for this episode. She's not on Twitter, but she is on Facebook if you want to go find her that way. And, man, just take advantage of the wisdom that she just laid down to you. And sounds like she'll just continue laying down wisdom until she's done in this business, which I hope will not be for a very, 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 very long time. Thank you, Rebecca, for being cool and sitting with me and inviting me to come down, sit in your offices and hang out. That was super fun, and I look forward to doing it again. All right, that about does it for another edition of Bring Your Own Lunch. Glad you can join us. Thank you. Also, thank you, Banuba. That's the band you're listening to right now. Go to banuba.net, BANOOBA.net, and buy their music, download their music, go see them live. Support them the way they support Bring Your Own Lunch. It's the right thing to do and a good way to do it. And don't forget to go to our website, bringyourownlunch.com. You can find out all the information about Rebecca, as well as any of the past, present, and presumably future guests on this program. Lots of links, lots of video, lots of pictures, lots of fun. Also, like us on Facebook.com/BringYourOwnLunch. Follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at BringYourOwnLunch. And if you want to support us, the best way you can do that is to go to iTunes or Stitcher, rate, review, subscribe to the show. Get it before anybody else does. As soon as I upload this thing, you will get it delivered to you. And it's usually before it's announced publicly via the social media outlets. So if that's not enough of an incentive, I don't know what to tell you. But I think we do good stuff here, and you're going to want to know as soon as there's a new episode out. End of story. Won't push it any more than that. That's all I'm going to say. That is the summation of anything I might have to say about that. I will not belabor the point. I will make my stance and proudly leave it be, and that is all I will say. Not going to stretch it out for comic effect. I promise you, I will merely say what I need to say, and then I'm gone. It's like I'm a ghost. Leaving, putting it out, and just walking away. Not overstaying my welcome. Not annoying you. That's how I roll. Stay tuned for Jimmy Jack's Cowpunch Hour, followed by Mansour and the Fish. And until next week, when I have another great guest lined up, this is Dave. I'll see you next week. You think I overdid it?